Does your car feel slower than the day you bought it? You step on the gas, but the response is dull. The idle is rough, the fuel economy has dropped. You check the spark plugs, they are fine. You check the air filter, it is clean. The problem isn't what you can see. The problem is deep inside your engine, choking it to death. It is called carbon buildup, and it affects almost every modern car on the road today. To understand the problem, we must look at the past. For 30 years, we used port injection. The fuel injector sprayed gasoline into the intake port before the valve. This was brilliant. Gasoline is a powerful solvent. Every time you drove, the fuel washed the intake valves clean. It kept them shiny and smooth for 300,000 miles. It was a self-cleaning system. Then came the quest for efficiency. Engineers invented gasoline direct injection, or GDI. Instead of spraying fuel into the port, they moved the injector directly inside the combustion chamber. This allowed for higher compression, more power, and better MPG from smaller engines. It seemed like the perfect technology, but engineers overlooked one massive side effect. With GDI, the fuel never touches the intake valves anymore. The valves are now dry. Without the constant washing of gasoline, there is nothing to clean them. But they don't stay clean. They get bombarded by oil vapors, exhaust gases, and crankcase pressure. Over time, these contaminants bake onto the hot metal valves, forming hard, black rock called carbon. Where does this carbon come from? It comes from your own engine. The PCV positive crankcase ventilation system recycles unburnt blow-by gases from the crankcase back into the intake to be burned again. It is an emissions requirement, but these gases are full of oil mist. In a GDI engine, this oil mist hits the hot intake valve, cooks instantly, and builds up layer by layer. Imagine trying to breathe through a straw that is slowly getting clogged with tar. That is your engine. As carbon builds up on the valve stems, it restricts airflow. Your engine is literally suffocating. It cannot get enough air to mix with the fuel. The computer tries to compensate, but eventually, you lose horsepower. A car with 100,000 miles can lose 10 to 15% of its power due to carbon. It gets worse. If the carbon chunks get too big, they can prevent the valve from closing completely. This causes a loss of compression. You get misfires, rough idling, and in severe cases, a burnt valve. Once a valve is burnt, the cylinder is dead. You're looking at a cylinder head rebuild costing thousands of dollars. There is a darker danger called LSPI, low-speed pre-ignition. Sometimes, glowing hot chunks of carbon can flake off and fall into the cylinder. These hot rocks ignite the fuel before the spark plug fires. This causes a massive pressure spike that can literally crack a piston in half. It is a catastrophic failure mode common in small turbo GDI engines. People say, just drive it hard. Give it an Italian tune-up to blow the carbon out. This is a myth. On an old port-injected car, high RPMs help the fuel wash the valves. On a GDI car, driving hard just increases the heat and PCV pressure, potentially baking the carbon on harder. You cannot drive your way out of this problem. What about seafoam or spray cleaners? You spray them into the intake while the car is running. These can help remove soft deposits, but they rarely remove the hard, baked-on rock carbon. Be careful. If a large chunk breaks off during cleaning, it can damage your turbo turbine blades or your catalytic converter. It is a risky band-aid, not a cure. So, how do you fix it? You need walnut blasting. Mechanics use crushed walnut shells, yes, actual nuts, and blast them at high pressure against the valves. The shells are hard enough to chip away the carbon, but soft enough not to damage the metal engine. It works perfectly. The catch: it costs $600 to $1,000 and is pure labor. Is every GDI engine doomed? No. Toyota saw this coming. They invented the D4S system. It uses both direct injection and port injection. At cruising speeds, the port injectors fire, washing the valves clean. At high loads, the direct injectors take over for power. It is the best of both worlds. Ford is now copying this with their newer EcoBoost engines. They know GDI alone is flawed. Can you prevent it? Enthusiasts swear by oil catch cans. This is a device you install between the PCV valve and the intake. It traps the oil mist before it hits the valves. While they do collect a lot of nasty sludge, manufacturers argue they can freeze in winter or cause vacuum leaks. But if you empty them regularly, they are arguably the best defense for a pure GDI engine. Fuel quality matters. Even in GDI, top-tier gasoline contains higher levels of detergents. While the fuel doesn't hit the back of the valves, it helps keep the combustion chamber and injector tips clean. Clean injectors spray a fine mist. Dirty injectors dribble. Dribbling fuel causes soot. So yes, premium gas helps, but it won't save your valves completely. This connects back to our last video. Oil volatility matters. Cheap oil evaporates easily, creating more vapor for the PCV system to suck up. High-quality synthetic oils have lower volatility and OACK, meaning less vapor and less carbon buildup. Changing your oil every 5,000 miles keeps the oil clean, reducing the amount of contaminants hitting your valves. If you own a small turbo engine 1.5T, 2.0T, you are at the highest risk. Turbos pressurize the intake, forcing even more oil flow bypass the valves. Plus, the extreme heat makes the carbon bake instantly. Honda 1.5T, Hyundai Theta 2, VW-TSI engines. These are notorious for heavy carbon buildup by 60,000 miles. Do you live in a cold climate? You're in trouble? Cold engines run rich more fuel. Cold piston rings don't seal well, more blow-by. Short trips in winter are the perfect recipe for carbon disaster. The engine never gets hot enough to burn off any deposits. Look at your maintenance schedule. Does it mention induction service or valve cleaning? Probably not. Manufacturers consider carbon buildup aware and tear item or deny it exists until your warranty expires. Just like lifetime transmission fluid, they ignore the long-term reality of their engineering choices. How do you know if you have it? Look for a rough idle on a cold start. Hesitation when you step on the gas. A drop in MPG. If your check engine light flashes APO 300 random misfire code, your valves might already be choked. Don't throw spark plugs at the problem. Check the valves with a borescope camera. We traded simplicity for efficiency. We got more horsepower and less pollution, but we gained a high-maintenance engine. The modern car is a high-performance athlete. It requires a strict diet and expensive therapy. The days of the abuse-tolerant cast iron engine are gone. If you own a GDI car, 1. Change oil every 5,000 miles with high-quality synthetic. 2. Use top-tier gasoline. 3. Consider an induction cleaning service every 30,000 miles to keep the carbon soft. 4. If you hit 100,000 miles, budget for a Walnut blast. It will make your car feel new again. Is your car GDI? Have you ever done a Walnut blast? Let us know in the comments if you've noticed power loss in your modern car. Don't let the carbon trap catch you off guard. Subscribe to AutoSight-G for more mechanical truths. Thanks for watching.